Hi, I'm Erin Clarke from wellplated.com, and today we are making my healthy strawberry oatmeal bars. They have not one, but 2 layers of buttery oatmeal crust. There are some fresh, juicy strawberries in between, and they are so easy to make. All you need is 1 bowl. Let's get started. So I'm going to begin in the middle being those yummy ruby red strawberries I talked about. I'm just gonna grab some fresh berries and cut them into a small dice. You wanna cut these pretty small because the berries actually cook down right in the center of the bars. You don't need to cook them separately on the stove. And dicing them small makes sure that all of those yummy juices come out. And now we are going to move on to the yummy buttery oatmeal layer. So just grab yourself a big mixing bowl. You don't need a mixer at all, just a whisk or a spatula will do the job perfectly. I have some old-fashioned rolled oats. This is white whole wheat flour. These bars are actually 100% whole grain. Now, to give the bars a little bit of flavor, I'm adding some ground ginger. It's kind of fresh and zesty, and it tastes really nice against the sweet strawberries. Pinch of salt for balance, and then some light brown sugar to make sure our bars are nice and sweet. Not a lot, just a 1/3 cup. So now just grab a whisk, and you want to kind of mix this all up together so that it's evenly distributed, and any clumps that you might have in your brown sugar get nice and broken up. So I have our dry ingredients nice and combined, and now it is time for a little bit of butter. This is some melted butter. I'm just gonna pour it right over the top. Okay, so now just get in there, stir it all around. All right, I've got my nice buttery crumb topping all together. I could seriously eat this entire bowl right now, but focus, let's make the bars. So you're going to set aside a 1/2 cup, and that is going to become the topping for the bars. No need to make a separate crust. We're going to use this 1 bowl for both layers. As I said, easy is the name of the game. I'm going to grab an 8 by 8 inch pan that I have lined with parchment paper and coated with a bit of baking spray. This is one of my favorite easy tips. I don't know if you've ever tried to line a pan with parchment paper and the edges keep kind of flipping and flopping all over the place. I just use these little office clips to clamp down. They're totally oven safe, and that way my parchment paper stays out of the way. All right, so I'm gonna take all of this nice buttery crust and pour it right on in. And then with my fingers, we just take it and press it into a single layer, and then this will become the base of the bars. Okay, bottom crust is good to go, and now we are going to add in our lovely strawberries. You wanna add about 1/2 of your strawberries to start, and just kind of scatter them all over here. It's not a science. And then we're going to add the rest of the strawberry filling ingredients, again, right in this pan. And that starts with a little bit of cornstarch. Just kind of give it a tap. Next comes a little bit of freshly squeezed lemon juice, and I'm just gonna squeeze it right onto the bars. I'm gonna put my fingers here just in case there are any seeds, and that way I catch them. Now, sprinkle on just a touch of sugar. Most of the sweetness is coming from the strawberries. Save a bit for the rest. And speaking of the rest, here we go. So just keep putting your strawberries on. If you see any blank spots, that's a really nice place to put them. Okay, now we just sprinkle on a little bit more sugar, and that is all we need. Okay, remember that topping we set aside? That is our top crust. So just crumble it right over the top. And it's not gonna completely cover the bars. You wanna have some strawberries peeking through. Now we're gonna bake these beauties for about a 1/2 hour until the crust gets nice and golden and the strawberries are really juicy and bubbly. All right, our bars have baked and they smell amazing. I just completed the extremely difficult task of letting them cool. I know you're going to want to dive right in, but I promise it is worth waiting. Now, you can eat them just like this. I actually sometimes do that for breakfast. But if you want to make them a little sweeter and more like a dessert, I make a very simple glaze that I drizzle right over the top. So that's what we're going to do now. So I started with a 1/2 cup of powdered sugar, and now I'm adding a tablespoon of milk. You can use any kind of milk you like. And then just to give the glaze great flavor, I use pure vanilla extract. Now grab your whisk and get to it. Now, if you want a slightly thinner glaze, you can always add milk, just a few teaspoons at a time until you get that perfect consistency that you're after. I tend to like it a little thicker, so I'm gonna leave it just like this. Perfect. All right, it is the moment of truth. We are going to drizzle our yummy vanilla glaze over the top of our beautiful strawberry bars. Drizzle as much or as little as you like. You can really just connect with your inner artist. Oh my gosh, do these look pretty or what? Okay, now all that remains is to slice and to serve these up. I hope that you enjoy this recipe as much as I do, and then it gives you something fun and fresh to do in the kitchen. Thank you so much for watching. I'm Erin Clarke from wellplated.com, and I look forward to cooking again with you next time.